Motivation comes and goes, but we can keep ourselves going through our why. And with queer writing, with writing our queer stories, we can tap into a lot of things. Hello, I'm Bridget. If you're new, welcome back to my channel. Here we talk about queer writing, and in this series we are taking on the allegory of a case file. We are talking about writing in a dark academia sense, in a dark academia setting, and this is the end of our investigation. This is the final video of the mystery series, and so we are going to be looking into the means, motive, and opportunity of your story. We are going to be looking at why you are writing your story specifically, and we are going to be diving into societal stuff. So it's not gonna get too serious, but it's gonna get a little serious in here. Now, this is a format that I plan to keep going with. There are gonna be different genres, so let me know down in the comments if there's any topics you guys want me to cover. I have an idea of what genre I'm gonna be doing next. If you guys wanna guess in the comments which one I'm gonna be doing next, have at it. But I'm very excited, and I hope you guys stick around, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, the first part we are going to be looking at is your motive. For this, I am using the prop of a little rainbow plushie that I got on my travels. So, motive is all about why you that are watching this video right now, why you want to write this story specifically. What are you striving for when writing this story? I brought this up in a past video, but I have been thinking about this a lot. And it is how I, as someone in the Western world, see representation versus how people in more censored countries might be able to see representation. I think that there is something to be said about having movies and TV shows that are less overt. There is a different motive behind it, which is why I think talking about motive is so important, because we need to take into consideration the society that we live in globally. We do not create in a vacuum. We need to, if we want our work to be seen on a global scale, we need to consider what our motive is, what our goal is for this work. One of the examples that I want to use is the X-Men franchise. Now, I watched this video recently about the history of the X-Men comics, and X-Men has a very, very strong allegory to queerness, and this was the main way that the creators could talk about queer issues in this time. It was just the 90s, but it was still, it is still quite hard to have a mainstream queer story, because certain countries, like I believe China and Japan, will ban certain media that depicts queer relationships. And so I think it is really important to look into personally what your motives are for this story. Now, your motives, it makes it sound quite menacing, but your motive overall is what you want your story to do. Do you want your story to simply bring more representation to a group of people? That, if that's your goal, then that is what you're striving for. And if you don't care the reach, then that's completely valid. If you want to reach people in the censored countries and simply, like, it feels like a hidden message sometimes, like K-pop Demon Hunters had a very strong queer allegory going on, and X-Men had a very strong queer allegory going on, but it was like, it's an allegory, so it's harder for them to overtly say that they're banning it because of queerness, because it's not overtly said. Yes, the motive is important because it gives you so much more to latch onto. It gives you the chance to get crystal clear about what your goals are around the story. And I think that that is one of the obstacles that we run into a lot, because we're not clear on what we want. We don't know when we get there. We don't know what the goalposts are because we don't have a destination. We're just kind of floundering around. Having your intentions, aka your why, as clear as possible will help you stay on track with your story. No matter what part of the process you're in, it is important to keep this in the back of your mind, maybe even the middle of your mind, because it will influence so much of your decisions. No matter if you are writing the first draft or meeting with executives at a meeting, I don't know, at a pitch meeting, you need to know what you are willing to compromise on and what you are not. This is your core intention, and you need to stay on target. Otherwise, I feel that is an easy way for you not to be satisfied with the end result. Now, I have 2 questions that you can ask yourself when it comes to your motive around your story. Number 1, what is the key reason you are writing this specific story? Now, I know it seems very academic to be like, why are you doing this? Why this story specifically? But it is really important to think about these things. It's important to ask yourself these questions because it will help you while moving forward. You want your why. You want a reason. Otherwise, the motivation will wane and you'll just be like, I don't have to because I don't even know why I want to. Question number 2, what are your aspirations for this story and how far do they stretch? This is all about what you are willing to compromise on and what you are not. What is the intention of the reach of this story? Okay, let's move on to means. For this, I have a map. So your means are the route of, as in the route of how you are getting to your destination. You have your motive, you have why you're going on the trip, why you're on this case, but you don't have the way that you're going to get there, which is the means. In the case of queer stories, your means mainly refers to the skills that you currently have and the experiences that you've collected throughout your life. When it comes to means, these are things that you can learn. It is quite, not necessarily easy, but easier to gain more skills. You can learn how to write in different formats. You can get help from some sensitivity readers. You can do more research and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, I can take a new road. I can change my path and just figure something else out. We are going to, yet again, take the example of Heartstopper. In this case, the route of it getting the biggest reach that we've seen a queer story really get. In the case of Heartstopper, if you don't know, Heartstopper started out as a webtoon. It still is a webtoon. You can read it for free on Webtoon. And it was a comic. Webtoon is a comics platform. And it published for years, and then the author herself was writing novels. She was publishing episodes on, or pages on Webtoon every week, and then it got turned into a TV show. The objective, the means, in this case the medium of Heartstopper, changed over time. The method of doing it as a comic was at the time the best way to go, because I can't speak for the actual reason behind this choice for Alice Oseman, the creator of Heartstopper, but the action of doing comics as opposed to going straight to television was because supposedly she had more passion behind doing comics. She had experience being a novel writer and then wanted to try doing comics. And so she had the means of doing that. I'm not saying that you can't push yourself. I'm not saying that you can't go straight to television, but there are certain methods, certain roads that are harder to cross. There are bridges that are out of commission. There's construction going on somewhere if we're running with that allegory. But the idea of taking the skills you have right now and running with those, running with the roads that are open, is one way to go. It's a question of how much resistance are you willing to take for this story to progress. So, when it comes to the story that you are working on, your means should align with your motive. If you want the furthest possible reach that you could possibly get, what is the most consumed form of media we currently have? Most likely, streaming television, streaming films. Those are the most popular right now. So, if that is your goal, you can gain the skills to go there. Yes, it is a harder road. Maybe it's a gravel road. Maybe it's like there's so many bumps on it. Maybe you run into so many roadblocks. Your means might change. Your preference in means can change over time. You can decide that a roadblock, you can't get past it. It's not gonna work anymore. So you change directions. Your means is not a one-way road. It simply is the path that you're going to use to get to your destination. There are also means in the way of the kind of representation that you want to portray. This is a different kind of means, not necessarily the career type of means, but the experience type of means. And this is where you may need to reach out to other people. And I would highly encourage you do. I did an interview with a sensitivity reader like a few months ago. I would highly recommend you guys check it out. I'll leave a link up here. And this is a really vital thing to do because your personal means, your experiential means is limited. And so reaching out to other people, getting support through that road in particular is really important because we can't know all the different experiences of queer society, of culture in general. So knowing your limitations, knowing the means that you need other people to help you with, if you need other people to help you clear that specific roadblock, that's okay. That is completely fine, and you should ask for other people's help. I think that there's no shame in asking other people to help you in that time. Now, when it comes to means, let's look at the two questions that we can ask to dive further into this topic. Question 1, what are the skills you have right now that can help you write your story? What are the roads that you can already take? What roadblocks can you solve for yourself? Question 2, is there another medium you would like to explore/test out that you think might suit this story better? Each story might have its own medium that fits it better. And I think that this is important to think about because as artists, we don't need to stay in a box. We can do a whole bunch of different things. Personally, I went from comics to film. Now I'm writing a novel and I'm writing short stories. So try not to limit yourself. With that, let's move on to number 3, opportunity. For this, I am simply putting my phone because this is all about connections. Opportunity is all about the people you have in your life right now. What kind of opportunities you can access currently? What doors are open for you? Writing is free. All you need is a piece of paper, a pen, or a computer, but If you want to get your stories on the big screen, if you want to get them published as a novel, you need other people. You need the green light and all that stuff. I mean, if you're self-publishing, maybe it's different. If you're doing smaller things, but if you want the big reach, if you want the big exposure, connections are kind of important. It's sad, but it's true. We need a little bit of help. Unlike motive and means, opportunity is kind of tricky to improve upon. Sure, it can be done, like going onto sets. If you want to be writing things for television, film, meeting people in that industry is very helpful. Opportunity does take more time though. Means and motive are more working with what you have right now. Opportunity, you have to put yourself out there in order to improve on these things. As we said, it's all about connections. It's all about other people. What opportunities do we have in our lives? Now, these are also things that we might not be aware of. Maybe your family has connections that you were never aware of. No matter like your circumstance, there are sometimes people that you simply didn't know your family knew. They don't have to be big names, but maybe they're like, one of your family members knows an actor who knows someone who knows someone, and it's just kind of a domino effect. That can very well happen. Opportunities for queer stories are fewer and further between than their heterosexual counterparts, but there is serious progress in this area, thankfully, and we are seeing more and more. So opportunities to create these kinds of stories are becoming more abundant. However, opportunity is also subject to faltering your means and motive. Now, when I say this, I mean that it can really cause havoc on those two areas, mainly motive. When you have an opportunity to reach for the stars, to get the thing that you actually want, when you have your big goal, when you have your motive there, and someone is saying, I can remove this roadblock, I can remove that for you, but it doesn't align with your motive. The opportunity actually isn't right. And I feel like we know that, but this gut feeling that often, I feel like there is also another layer to this gut feeling. There is the queer layer of the gut feeling, because it's like, maybe they're asking for things to be toned down in the queer area, and you don't want to do that because you know what your motive is. You know that you want to bring more representation to this area, and so you are not willing to dial that back. You will not take this opportunity because that is what they are saying. You trust that gut feeling because it's not right for you. It's not right for your story. With the support of shows like Heartstopper and movies like I Saw the TV Glow, we know that people want more queer stories. And as you're watching this right now, I am trusting that someone is watching this right now. So if there's more than 0 views on this video, I trust that more people want to write queer stories than we currently see. So more queer stories are surely coming. Now, let's go through the 2 questions that we can ask about opportunity. Question 1, are there opportunities that you already have in your life through family connections or other personal influences? Question number 2, what does your gut say is the form this story should take? Okay, now let's do a little summary of what we have covered today. Number 1, motive. What is the driving force behind your story? Why do you want to write this specific story? This is important to keep in mind as it will inform your decisions moving forward. It will help you in your drafting. It will help you in meetings with executives, if that's what you want to do. It is just the guiding light. Number 2, means. How can you get there? And what kind of roadblocks do you think you will encounter? Is there a road that you want to go down that you don't know how to go down? Is there a different medium that you want to experiment with? Little questions. What kind of means do you want to use? And lastly, opportunity. What kind of opportunities do you currently have, and how can you employ your motive to your opportunities to make sure that you stay true to your vision? Okay, now this is the end of the series. Again, let me know down in the comments if you guys have any topics you want me to cover in future series, and if you have any guesses about the genre theme of the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed all this. Let me know about the stories you're working on, and go and be the prism for a new rainbow. I will catch you guys next time with a new series. Till then, go and be the prism for a new rainbow. Keep writing. Bye.